Welcome to Beauty Talks with Bibi. I will be doing something a little different today. I won't be doing makeup look or be talking about an outfit. Today I will be speaking with Kasia Pilewicz. Kasia is a Polish-American model, actress, and film director living in Los Angeles. And she was also in America's Next Top Model Cycle 16. And she recently directed her first short film, Hard on the Floor, and is in pre-production on her next film, Magda, a story about Polish women's revolution. So welcome. Thank you so much for being here. How are you?
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm great in sunny LA,
Yeah,
so can't complain.
that's so,
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. It's already like nighttime here. I'm in Spain. So
Yeah,
yeah.
we're in a, what time is it there?
It's 10:10 right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I already had my full day. You'll still get to go through
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it's 1:10.
Yeah.
So you're way ahead. Tell me what happens.
Yes, I'm in the future. So I have
Nice.
a few questions for you. And your resume is super extensive and super impressive. At
Oh,
what age?
thank you.
You're welcome. At what age did you start modeling?
I started professionally when I was 16. We got
Mhm.
scouted in high school, but I didn't work. I had a local agent, Ford in Chicago, and then I got an agent in New York, that I went for the summers from school,
Oh, cool.
and started then. But yeah, not really full time till I was 18, and then I moved to New York when I was like 22
Hmm.
and went, full time in New York. Yeah.
I'm sure that was better too, because when you're so young, like you still have to finish school. If you're doing it full time, it really consumes your life a lot.
Yeah, and I think it's good. I think a lot of girls start really young and then don't have a sense of themselves, kind of get wrapped up in maybe some of the not great things. So I think it worked out well for me in that way.
Yeah.
I kind of, wet my toe in the water, but didn't go
Mhm.
full force till I was a little bit older.
Yeah, you actually got to be a teenager, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, my parents are like immigrants from Poland. They're like, no, 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 you're finishing school, you're gonna go to college, you're gonna do all the things. So I was like, okay,
Yeah, that's how my
but I'm
mom.
gonna still do this.
Yeah, yeah. Like a little bit won't, it won't hurt. So, and it worked
Exactly.
out. So
Yeah.
it was worth.
Yeah, exactly. And I always look too young anyway. They're like, it's like 18, 19, 20. They're like, why do you look 12? I was like, "Oh."
But
So I had to
no.
age into it. It's usually the opposite. People are done by the time they're like 25. But
Hmm.
for me, I was on America's Next Top Model when I was 26, I think.
Hmm.
So yeah, late bloomer.
Yeah. So I used to watch America's Next Top Model when I was younger, and I literally always dreamed of it whenever there was the prompt like, "Oh, today we're gonna do like a water photo shoot," and like the smize. I used to
Yeah.
always be like in the mirror, like on the mirror practicing. And
Were
you're,
you going along with the shoot?
of course, and
Yeah.
like mimicking the poses, and you were like on it actually. So, how did that exposure benefit your career?
I mean, it's sort of I was working in fashion. I was, with Wilhelmina in New York and doing pretty well. I'd worked for like walked in Fashion Week, worked for Target and Macy's and all the big, catalogs. And then I got a V magazine spread that went worldwide. And this is all before. So I think I was getting known in the fashion world, but mainstream TV kind of, I guess, you're in people's living rooms on a show like America's Next Top Model. So that opened up a lot more mainstream doors, that way. I still went, we shot in LA and I still went back to live in New York afterward. And the fashion world was a little bit like, different after that. But when I moved to LA a little bit later for more TV and film opportunities, that really helped, there because they're like, okay, well, you've done a show, even
Yeah.
though it's reality or acting, it's still like you've been on TV. So
Mhm.
I think the exposure from that. I mean, the show is huge worldwide, even though they have like Spain's Next Top Model or Germany's Next Top Model, and they have a Poland's Next Top Model. They still run America's Next Top Model worldwide.
Yeah.
Um, all the time I get, friends and family in different countries like, oh, it's on TV. And I was like, oh, that's good to know. So yeah. So I guess the exposure is huge. I kind of forget about it sometimes
Mhm.
that people watch it like all over. And
Yeah.
it goes on. I mean, this is 10, 11 years ago for me. So it goes
Mhm.
um on reruns. And I think that's the big thing is like you don't even know how many people have seen it. It's crazy.
Yeah. In Brazil, we have like Germany's Next Top Model showing, and we also have American's Next Top Model and Brazil's Next Top Model, but none of them
Yeah.
compare to America's Next Top Model. I
Oh,
think
really? Is it very
production,
different?
I think the production is just so much bigger for America's Next Top Model. It's just different. Like you would
Mm,
much rather watch something that has a lot more production value and all these different challenges and different cities. So,
yeah. They
yeah.
go crazy around Americas, I'm sure.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And what are some of the industry beauty secrets that you've learned in your career?
Hmm. Take care of your skin.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my number one because everyone's always asking me about my skin or my skincare
It's
routine. And
perfect.
oh, thank you.
Oh,
I've been a
obviously.
I'm a junkie. I love skincare products. I definitely am very grateful that really young I started using good products and taking care of my skin and just being conscious of it. But I mean, I loved fashion since I was a little kid and I was reading magazines and probably didn't need to be using, I would steal my mom's creams and things like that. So I probably
Mhm.
didn't need to be doing that, but maybe it helped long term. Um, so I think just learning that and starting to work when I was 16 as a model, you learn on set what they're
Mhm.
putting on you and to wear sunblock, of course.
Yeah,
Sunblock, but that's like if anyone asks my number one thing, that's gotta be it, because I
Mhm.
think that's the biggest
It's
aging
so important.
aging,
Mhm.
yeah, anti-ager. It's a lot of elements. I think it's your whole lifestyle. Like since I was a kid, love fruits and vegetables. I always ate a lot of raw fruits and vegetables, and you know, like ate probably differently than the normal American family because my parents are foreign, and I think that all was in my benefit too. Just a little bit healthier, more
Mhm.
homemade stuff. But yeah, I think water. I like to crack full of coconuts and drink the coconut water and eat all of that. I'm like, it's good for
Mhm.
your skin, good for your brain, all of it. So I really think both matter. And of course, what you're putting on as
Yeah,
well. Sorry, I
that's
went on a tangent. I don't know what the question.
no,
You're like one product. I'm like, here you go.
no, please. So you would say like sunscreen definitely you can't live without. I
Yeah.
mean, I
Especially
can't.
like since moving to LA. Yeah, I can't. In New York, you don't see the sun as much because the buildings block it. So I lived there like 5 years. I don't think I've ever been whiter. I would go visit my family. They're like, "Why do you look like a ghost?" But you just don't. Yeah, I still wear sunblock every day, but you just don't get as much sun exposure. But living in LA, I have to put on pretty much every day SPF 50, 45, 50.
Yeah,
I do. Yeah.
that's how
So
I
I,
feel here.
yeah. Is it really strong?
It's
Wow.
sunny. It's been cloudy for the past 2 days, but it's always sunny here. And I was living in Pittsburgh, where it's
Uh,
always cloudy. So
yeah.
I still would wear sunscreen, and my friends would be like, "Why are you wearing sunscreen? It's cloudy," but the UV is still there, you know?
Exactly. Very smart. That's the trick. People are like the overcast day at the beach is when you get burned.
Yeah,
You can't.
yeah. That's what we say in Brazil. It's like the cloudy days, that's when everyone burns because no one puts any sunscreen on. It's always
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
So I'm diligent. Yeah, that's like my one thing. I have
Mhm.
sprays to touch up with, even over makeup, and
Mhm.
then every morning. Yeah, it's my
Yeah.
main one. I got
Mhm.
like 3 to 4 favorites going at a time. I'm
So
a product junkie.
it's so bad. The people at Sephora, I go in and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, please don't judge me. I don't have a problem. Maybe.
Yes, no. Well, I'm trying to go more minimal. I've been trying the last, year or two to minimize and really see what I'm using and what I love and get rid of the excess because, I have stuff I use once in a while. I'm like, I don't need that.
Yeah.
But it's still good, but just streamlining. And I think it actually makes my skin better. I break out less with
Just
less.
one product. Yeah.
not one.
Oh,
Like,
I mean, like one continuous or like,
yeah, more of a regimen.
okay.
Mhm. Like not switching so much and like there's this video they did of me like a on the outtake episode of Top Model where it's like my skincare routine. And yeah, I think I just talk about like, oh, I tried this and I try all these different things. And it's true, I do, but like if I kind of stick with the same stuff that works, I think it's even better.
Hmm. Yeah,
So,
that's I try to do that, but the thing is like I need to find my products before I'm really like these are the things that I want because
yeah,
I really only got into skincare just before the pandemic started. I always wear sunscreen, but
yeah.
my vitamin C, I had no idea which one I liked. So I tried a few different ones before I got one that I liked. Also, like for AHAs, I never
Mhm.
was into that until I went to the dermatologist and she was like, these are two you can try, see which one you like.
Okay, what are your favorites?
So my favorite vitamin C is actually from Brazil. It's
Ah,
like it's very creamy. It's like super nice. It really absorbs into my skin. My AHA, I use it's La Roche. And
oh yeah, yeah,
yeah, I want to get some more of their stuff because I keep seeing it online and so many people are using their stuff and I'm like,
really
I need to
good.
check the rest out.
Yes. Oh, I haven't tried that though. I'll try
Mhm.
theirs.
And I had like Dr. Kiehl's it's like a essence for your face that has AHA as well. Like
Okay.
super clean too. It's really good. I really
Oh,
like yeah.
yeah. All the
The
good stuff.
so what are your for me, whenever I start my day and I have the best days are always whenever I work out because I just feel so confident, like lifting some weights, like oh my gosh, I'm so strong, so powerful.
Definitely.
What are like your favorite ways to start your day?
I do love the days I do ballet class. That's been I took class here and there like my whole life, but during the pandemic, I really got into it, and
Mhm.
I'm coming back now, trying to go at least 4 days a week, some maybe more. But yeah, I feel great after that because you work on strength and stretching, and it's a mental exercise for me too because of all the combinations and different things. So I feel like it works everything for me, mind and body.
Mhm.
Um, Plus, I love the classical music and just the routine of it.
Mhm.
Um, so I feel really good. Yeah, starting that way. Usually it's a walk before, uh,
Mhm.
walk with my dog and then do ballet and then I feel great. I can't do it every day. I don't have time, but
Mhm.
those days, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I have another class I like. It's ballet based with weights too. And like you,
Oh,
I don't do that as much, but that one you feel good and strong after. And yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
That's so
But
good.
yeah, if I wake up after getting enough sleep, that's first, and then yeah, doing that in the morning is really good. And I've realized I'm a morning workout person. I'd rather get up earlier and do it because it kickstarts my day in the right way versus like at night I'm usually like too tired and don't want to.
Yeah. And like make it for me at night, I would get so frustrated because I would never have a routine for working
Mm,
because I would go at night, but then I'm tired. I have to
yeah,
sleep or I'll be like, oh, but then I won't sleep properly because I'll be like my heart rate will be up and just making excuses. So I
yeah,
start in the morning and it's just I've been so consistent with it. It's
that's
so
better.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so I think everybody works different. Different things work for everybody differently. So if that works for you, I'm a also morning person that way. So I try
Yeah.
to keep that routine going. Yeah, I also love roller skating and I keep meaning to go back. There's a path by the beach I live
Mhm.
close to now, and just skating over there and the ocean air is also my other favorite.
Yeah. I feel like that's so whenever I'm close to the ocean, my skin looks so much better. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's like in my head or something, but
Oh, it's different air. I can tell it's the air is different. I think there's more moisture in the air, and I don't know, it just feels cleaner.
Mhm. Do
I
you
think it's
like rollerblade with the four or the inlines?
I have both.
You have both. Oh my God.
Yeah. I like the classic ones more, but I have rollerblades too.
Mhm.
That was another thing during the pandemic, the shutdown, they were sold out of roller skates everywhere, and I had my old ones, which are still good. Moxies are amazing. I need to get a new pair now, but I'm still using those. And I got rollerblades. What is the brand? Uh, I can't remember, but they're really good too and really cute. And it's different. I think street wise, if it's not a smooth surface, blades are better because the four can be like on a bumpy surface. It's hard to stay balanced. But if it's smooth, love it. I had a birthday party a few years ago at a roller rink. That
Oh,
was amazing. Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, they shut down. I don't know if I'm sure they're back open now, but I haven't been in a while, but I used to love to go to the
Mhm.
roller rink too. And it's
That's
very old school in there. Everything's like
like the
original.
wooden boards for the floor. Oh, that's
Yeah, and they play music. It's fun. It's really fun.
yeah. So always staying active, I see.
Yeah, I try to. I'm like just trying to have it part of my lifestyle.
Mhm.
Walking a lot. I like to walk if I can, anywhere. And that's what I did when I lived in New York and even Chicago before. It's like I didn't even have a car. So I
Mhm.
just think like if it's built into your lifestyle, it's a little more European too, just
Yeah.
being active versus like having a gym or something like that. So I'm just trying to do that more. And I like classes and like
Yeah.
dance, like ballet especially. But
Mhm.
yeah, it makes me feel a lot better, feel more
Yeah.
balanced, and the weeks that you don't get as much in, I can feel a difference.
Mhm. That's for sure. I could I mean, I'll drive because I have to, but if I could choose, I would never drive again. I would just bike and walk everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
really enjoying my time here, just
Yeah.
walking and biking.
Do
So
you live there or you're there just temporarily?
I'm here for like 2 months with my mom, and then I have to
Oh,
go back to Pittsburgh.
okay.
But I do go
You're
to
in
New York
school.
sometimes for school, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for school. Where is it? Where is it in Pittsburgh?
Pitt,
Which city?
University of Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, yeah. I
And
went on a road trip in 2020 and we stopped in Pittsburgh for a few days. I thought it was such a cool city. I'd
it's
never been before.
it's
Yeah.
it's a good foodie town. Lots of
Yeah.
little restaurants and everything, but I
There
don't
was
know.
a lot of great like street art, I remember,
Yeah.
and the people were cool. We stayed in a really cool hotel. I just remember it was really nice.
It is,
Yeah.
but the winters, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
winter's
I'm
brutal.
sure the change from New York to LA, you can definitely understand like
Oh
the
yeah.
winter
I'm
situation.
never going back. Never need another winter. If I visit my family in Chicago, that's about it. But yeah, it's not fun. Here it's like the most beautiful, even keeled weather. I mean, there's some variation, but I
Mostly
just
the same.
yeah, mostly sunny and warm most of the time.
So
If it's the jacket weather, it's never like snow and layers, you know. And Chicago is the worst for me because the wind chill there is killer. You could be wearing like 10 layers and you could feel it like through your clothes. They hit you. It's crazy cold.
do you get, I'm not too familiar with American geography. Do you get like lake effect snow around
Definitely.
where you live or where you're
Yeah. Yeah. Not like I don't live there anymore, but yes,
Yeah.
yeah, you
Oh
definitely
gosh.
do.
I could
And
not
yeah.
deal with that. And also I feel like my skin gets so dry.
hmm
It's a no for me.
It's true. Yeah. I think people have really good skin here. I mean, people look younger, longer in California. I think it's more
They're
relaxing.
happier
They're
probably.
happier. Their skin's not frozen like,
Hmm.
half a year through like, spring. It's like so freezing. Yeah, and you get like that red chapped,
Hmm.
sensitive skin. So I definitely remember like, I'm like slathering Aquaphor on
Hmm.
like
I bet
chapped skin.
the only way I would argue is like, oh, at least you're getting some like cryotherapy since it's so cold. Not really,
Yeah.
but like, I guess.
Well, I could just go to that here, which I do.
Yeah,
I love
exactly.
cryotherapy.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
used to go to a place that did facials. They closed down, but they had cryo facials, which
Mhm.
actually was amazing.
Does it
Uh,
actually like work? Like, do you
it
feel a difference?
it does, yeah. It's like especially if you have a shoot the next day or some kind of event, like it takes down any kind of inflammation and you just feel like it actually is I don't know, antibacterial or something feels it kind of freezes it
Mhm.
out. So it's good, I think, for like a boost before, but they say long term it boosts collagen and all that stuff too, like under layers. So I don't know the long-term effects. I haven't done enough for that, but I can see an instant thing like the day
Mhm.
before or something. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. I still
Yeah.
I've done a facial once and then I broke out and I was like, "Oh, I'm never doing this again."
Oh, that's
But
what happens because they
it's
come up,
purging skin.
purging. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I'm big on facials. I think that's the way, preventative. So it's like facials and good skincare, so you're not having to like fix stuff later. That's my goal. Not
Are
having
there
to.
like different facials that you do, or is it kind of a one size fits all?
No.
No?
I've done the cryotherapy facials. My favorite now is Skin Laundry. I do their laser facials.
Mm,
Um, those are really good.
mhm,
And there's two different kinds. I kind of alternate. But yeah, it helps with breakouts. It just helps keep it boosts collagen production, helps keep your skin tight. So I
mhm,
do those, and then recently I did my first peel like a couple months ago,
mhm,
which I was scared to because my skin's sensitive, and it was very gentle. It wasn't like one of those major ones that you can't like go out for a
mhm.
week. I didn't really peel that much, but I definitely saw my skin was like really smooth after. Um, that was at Dermalogica, so I might do one of those again. And then I've done just regular, traditional kind of facials where they like pop your
Oh my
extraction.
God.
It's
Yeah.
painful, but it's good. I mean, I think it helps,
Mhm.
just kind of to keep your skin clean and clear, especially like after I do a job where I'm wearing a lot of makeup under hot lights. I did a shoot in Texas last year, and the days were so long and so hot. Like I came back. One of the girls, one of the other actresses was like, "Come to my hotel room. I have a steamer and this." So I bought a steamer after that just to have. She's like, "I always travel with it because you got to get the gunk, the makeup out of your
Out of your
skin.
pores, yeah.
It like bakes in all day, and then they're touching you up on top of, you sweating and the
Mhm.
lights and all that, and then they're adding makeup. It's like you have to like detox it after. You really do.
I actually, there's one thing I've always wondered, like, whenever you get your makeup done, how is the brush situation? Because I'm very personal with my makeup brushes. I don't like sharing them at all. Like my
Yeah.
mom sometimes will try to snag them from me. I'm like, no, no, no.
Bacteria. Yeah, you got to clean them between. I mean, I'll clean them. I always bring to set like my own, like
Hmm.
little, very basic makeup kit. I don't bring a lot because they have most stuff. Since COVID happened, they're much more careful. I can see they have separate like baggies for
Hmm.
touch-ups for people. If they don't, it is a problem, and I'll say something, but they pretty much are really good,
Very
especially since
conscious about it.
yeah, it was worse like in fashion. Like you'd be doing a fashion show and they were just like you're lined up to go and they're like touching up everyone with the same lipstick. And I'm
Mhm.
like, whoa, that's disgusting. I was always, yeah, don't give me an eye infection, don't share
Mhm.
mascara. So yeah, you gotta be really I do makeup too.
Mhm.
That's one of my side gigs, and I'm like so OCD with cleaning my kit and just using disposable stuff and I
Mhm.
just I can't think about spreading anything to anybody. So
No, it's so scary. Like I don't want to get like you said, like an eye infection and like just have to
yeah.
deal with that. It's just not worth it for me at all.
Yeah, I know. When I was younger, my friends were like sharing mascara. I'm like, don't do that. That's disgusting. I have to switch
Mascara?
my
No.
own after like
Yeah.
3 months is the max. And
Mhm.
yeah, you just don't want to mess with any wet makeup, especially
Yeah,
with
I always buy
bacteria.
like the mini mascaras because I'm gonna be replacing them every like 3, 4 months tops anyway. So why would I buy a huge one that I'm
Exactly.
not gonna use all of it, you know?
Yeah, they have like studies where you find like some of the most bacteria in people's makeup bags. Disgusting. It's like I'm cleaning, like I'm always cleaning that stuff.
Oh
So people
my
don't realize because you're touching everything and whatever, and you put it back in.
We have
And
like mucus and like we have a lot of things on our face and like our eyes like we have
Mhm.
everything like saliva.
Yeah.
It's too much for
Yeah,
me.
I use a silicone bag because you could wipe it out really easily, or the
Oh,
ones that are lined with plastic.
mhm.
So yeah,
I took a
minor OCD.
no, I totally relate though. I was taking a sewing class, like a fashion class in Brazil over the pandemic. And one of like my classmates, you can do projects by on your own, and she was making one of those makeup bags, and I was like, huh. That's a good
Yeah.
idea. Like, it was lined with like plastic inside. It looked
Yeah.
really nice, like really good.
See if she's making them now. Maybe she's
Oh,
has production of those. Yeah,
yeah.
that's good because you can wipe it down. You can
Hmm.
use like a antibacterial wipe or
Yeah,
something, and
exactly. Yeah, because
or if
those.
it spills like a
Hmm.
makeup color, it's hard to get out of cloth.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
little thing.
exactly. Going a little back to your career and everything, what is, how was the change from going to being behind or in front of the camera with modeling and acting to being behind it with directing and making your own films?
Well, I think it felt like a natural progression, and I'm just getting into that. But it felt like for a while that I knew I wanted to do that. Because I think my ultimate goal is just telling great stories. So whether it started for me through a fashion story and
Mhm.
a still photo shoot, and I used to take pictures too. I actually minored in photography, and I would always be telling stories with like a series of
Mhm.
photos. So I think learning from also, yeah, like the fashion stories that I would model for. And then, of course, in acting, that's just reading a ton of scripts. And I was just always lucky to be on set and I could talk to the other people as
Mhm.
much as is appropriate, but find out what everybody's job is in front of
Mhm.
and behind the camera. So I'm just a curious person and picking people's brains where I can. Um, and really just, yeah, I think I always kind of knew in the back of my head, but I started taping my actor friends for their auditions, and everything basically now is self-tapes. But I had been doing it for a few years, just started out with friends, and then people were like referring other people to me, and I
Mhm.
eventually like was running a self-tape studio out of my place.
Oh,
And I got really good at it, and I just people kept referring me and coming to me because they're like, you're really good. And I'm like, eventually I'm like, I'm really directing these people a little bit. And uh just seeing that I was able to do that and have a knack for it and can get a better performance out of somebody and help elevate their thing, just made me realize, oh yeah, I'm gonna really go after directing. So now I'm going that way, but I think it's always different. You could see, I'm used to being the actor on set, and you could see from that point of view, the way it goes. But now being on the other side and as the director, how much more you have to be aware of and just make decisions for, but also be really collaborative with everybody. And I think, my goals are just to
mhm.
hire the people who are great at their jobs, and every director who's amazing that I've listened to them speak, that's basically what they say. They're like, get the right people around you. They're the best at that particular job, and then
Network.
have a really great collaborative process. Yeah, and to bring something to life off of paper. Got to have a great script, bring it to life, and everybody. I just want everybody to be excited about what piece they're doing on like a film project,
Mhm.
and I think that's the most exciting part.
Yeah, that's for sure. And especially like with you being an actress as well, I think you definitely would have a kind of an edge on knowing how to direct and also creating a very like good, healthy work environment as well.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
really important, I think. Because yes, I've had good and bad experiences with that.
Yeah.
So I absolutely think, knowing what the actors need and how to talk to them, I
Hmm.
have a leg up being coming from that. There's a lot of, great directors who started as actors or still are doing both. And I think, yeah, I think that's part of speaking that same language and knowing kind of how to get into their head. And you have to talk to everybody in a different way. It's
Hmm.
not a one size fits all process. It's very much like getting the psychology of it, and everybody's going to get there a different way. Um, but yeah, it's the same way I started with makeup. Of it's never a one size fits all. Like I'm like, you just got to do a lot of faces and realize that everyone has slightly different features and coloring, and knowing how to mix it and tailor it to that person. I think directing's a little bit similar. It's like everybody needs a little bit of a different way to get to what the director's vision is. So you have to know how to kind of guide them there, but also let it be a little bit free, you know, like you said, a good working environment that people can feel
Yeah.
free to do
Like
what
where
they
people can put
do.
their not their essence, but kind of like their energy into it without being completely like, no, like just do this. Like I
Yeah.
think I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's being prepared, but then open
Mm-hmm.
to seeing what magic can happen. Because I've seen it as an actor on set too. It's like those times where like something just happens differently, but it's was meant to be that way. It's like the magic of what happened with all these circumstances coming together in that moment on that set. And it could be even better than initially you could pre-plan it, you know? And with acting, you kind of you're supposed to do all your work and prepare and then let it go and just be in the
Mm-hmm.
moment. So I kind of approach things that way too.
Yeah, I think the first thing that comes into my mind with that is like Leonardo DiCaprio when he cut his hand in Django and he kept going and they just left.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, this is amazing, you know? I
exactly.
guess
Yeah, it's like
yeah,
use it.
yeah.
You have a thing, you have an opportunity right now, you know. You deal with it later.
Keep
And
going.
usually, right, your adrenaline's usually going at that point where you kind of, if you're in it, you're just in it, and yeah, you deal with it later. Or
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, where he like broke his foot on one of the Mission Impossibles, and he like continues. I was like, oh my God.
I didn't even know that. Oh my gosh. Wow.
But yeah, I think that's exactly it. It's like using what is in the present, you
Mm-hmm.
know, working on that in general is like being present and using all of that really what's happening around you. Like you can pre-plan a lot of stuff, but ultimately it's going to go maybe a different way. Maybe the weather's different and you had an outdoor shoot, and you have to like adjust. But I think people who creatives a lot of times are good with that, are able to adjust and flow and know that like maybe that's going to make it something even better and maybe not and you'll have to reshoot, but you can try to kind of go with it and in
Keep
the
your
way it
version
is.
of it.
Yeah, and anytime you have so many different people coming together, like different dynamics happen, and it can be like the magic, like great TV series, I think, where they're ensemble casts, the most successful ones, they're usually like the creators talk about it later, they're like, well, it would probably wouldn't have been as successful if we didn't have these people come together exactly this way, and it just was meant to be. The chemistry could have been completely different and not worked out that way.
Mhm.
So yeah.
And as a storyteller with photography, modeling, directing, I see that you're kind of like more of a visual media storyteller. Do you think you would ever write a book or a play or something of the sort?
Yeah, definitely. I want to write a book. I keep saying it as like a far off thing, but I'm thinking about that lately. But I write scripts and I'm working on that. I like to collaborate. I've written a couple of scripts with other people and I tend to work well that way. But right now, working on a couple of my own projects. And yes, it's I think a really important part for a storyteller because it starts that way. It starts on the page. If you're going to shoot a film, you got to have a script. Well, not always. They sometimes improvise. But you have to have an outline of something you want to do with that. So yeah, absolutely. But even when I'm writing, I kind of see it visually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I have written like with another actress friend that we are like almost acting out the stuff as then we write it because it's like how I'm coming at it from mainly, working as an actress in that business, coming around this way and learning the other stuff. So it helps me to like get in my head visually, and see it and then be writing that way,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But I think it's an always evolving process.
Yeah, with being so active and I mean, you do so much. I'm pretty sure you can get tired sometimes.
Oh
And
yes. I'm trying to simplify and streamline. I'm trying to do less things a little
Mhm.
bit because being really torn in too many places sometimes is hard to focus on like one thing really well. So this is something I'm trying to like figure out the ways to juggle things without being so split and multitasking. I think is
Yeah.
important to like give yourself time to like really be able to focus on one thing. It's
I
easy when you're like when I'm out of town on a film, it's easy to do that because you're just there, you're outside of your normal environment and you're just there to focus on one project. So like you even learn going off to do stuff like that because I'm like, oh wow, I'm so focused and so good when I'm just, have this one thing to do really well. So try to like recreate that environment when I'm home and like you have all the other,
Things
distractions.
calling your name from every.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm so guilty of that. Oh my gosh.
exactly. I
Yeah.
think it's cultural. I think it's like,
Yeah, especially
you're more coming up with like social media and you're younger and like, just coming up with a phone like in your hand at all times. It's like it can be endless distractions.
yeah. I think
So sometimes
also,
I gotta put down the phone.
mhm. I think also like I don't know if you can relate with that, like my parents being like immigrants as well. Like
Hmm.
always like school and like no focus on this, do that. I think that definitely has an effect in my life in a way.
Yeah. It's good. I mean, I think I'm such a self-driven person. Like nobody's ever forced me to do other than my parents, yeah, like you have to finish school. Like everything else is like me going after what I want, and having the drive to do that and self-discipline because it's not like anybody will do that part for you. So yeah, establishing those routines and the way to like discipline yourself, I think is really important. And I mean, you can even apply it to skincare. Like people who like don't wash their makeup off every night, I don't understand.
I
I
like
can't.
come back from a night out and like, no, I'm washing my face. My friends are like, what are you doing? It's like 2 in the morning. I'm like, I will thank myself in the morning. Like,
Exactly. As tired as you are,
yeah,
someone told me years ago, maybe this will stick with you and tell your friends, every night you sleep in your makeup, it's like you age 3 days.
yeah, I heard that too.
So that's real because it's really your
Your
skin
skin needs to
regenerates at
breathe
night.
and like
Yeah,
the like skin cell turnover and stuff. Can it do that if it's all like caked up? I see.
exactly. Yeah,
Exactly. Always take your makeup off.
definitely.
Any other routine things like you come back, you're super tired, and you're like, let me relax, let me do this to recharge, to take care of myself, let me like connect and ground myself in the moment. What are some things that you
Mhm.
do?
Um, I like to go out in nature more and more, just trying to be outside and you
Mhm.
know, um, just meditate. And even if it's just sometimes a meditative walk could clear my head, or sometimes, I'm just so tired I need to lay down and put on a sheet mask and listen to some music
Take a
and
nap.
take a nap. Yeah. I think um more just self-care in general, not thinking that's, you know, sort of you don't have time for it, just like making time for it. And I actually accomplish a lot more when I make time for things like that because I feel better
Mhm.
after,
Yeah.
so that and just I think listening to your body more, like, yeah, if you're tired, take a nap. And I used to be way more like major workaholic and like would push myself and not sleep enough, and now I'm like, no, I really need to get enough sleep because I'll be more uh in a better state of mind to get more done the next day. So, and also knowing that like if I'm better in the morning, which I like to wake up early and get things done or work out and do all that stuff in the morning, but like don't stay up super late.
Yeah.
Because I used to say I'm a night owl and an early bird. I'm like, that's just
That's not
yeah,
sustainable.
it's
Yeah.
just super confusing. You can't be both. And yeah, I much prefer, being up early and I feel like I get a lot more done. Um, but then also knowing, yeah, you have to wind down earlier in the day, I mean earlier at night then, and try to get to bed at a, not crazy hour, get enough sleep. Yeah. There's a reason they call it beauty sleep. I
Yeah.
mean,
That's true.
you really, I think you could get away with a couple nights, but then you start to see it, like when you're really
No, my skin
under-rested.
gets like dry and like it just doesn't look good. Like I think
Yeah.
everyone here in Spain is so pretty because they all do like a siesta. They're all taking a little beauty nap. I'm like, how's
So
everyone
smart.
pretty?
I wish that was in the American culture,
I
like
know.
midday siestas. I think that's so smart. Yeah.
Like
I mean, people are more, in other countries, I think just in general, more balanced with the work-life balance
yeah.
than at least than here in
Like
America. They're like,
you
work, work, work.
yeah, here you work to live. You don't live just to work. Where in the US I see that a lot.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And it's
mhm.
not necessary. That's what I'm realizing, more and more as
Mhm.
I, get older and try to accomplish more things. I'm like, it's just being more selective on how you spend your time.
Yeah.
And I think it's a, like anything else, it's a constant learning thing because you
Mhm.
just have to adjust. And there's 24 hours in the day, but everyone always says, well, everybody has the 24 hours in the day. So it's what you do with that and
Mhm.
how you choose to like spend your time and, not wasting time. And everybody's guilty of it. I'm guilty of it, but like not wasting hours on social media. And I could have done so many things that are more important to me in that time.
Yeah, I had to cut TikTok out for like a long time because when the pandemic first started, I was just like 2 hours would go by and I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah, I
I
really
stopped completely and then I was like, until I'm okay with it, I can just be like, okay, I'm done. I will not
yeah.
restart that cycle.
Yeah, it's like setting those boundaries for yourself is good. It's hard though because it feels like you have to be and you're missing out on something. But then I'm like, but yeah, 2 hours go by and that's not what I wanted to do with my time. So I have a TikTok, but I've never been on it. But Instagram, I've been trying to like be more consistently posting, and it feels like a lot of work. It feels like another job. So it's not I go in and out. Like some weeks I'm like I didn't post anything and you feel like this need to. So I'm trying to just again with that balance it too. Be present on there but not like spend all my time on there.
And I just wanted to say one thing, like, when you said like you're doing so many projects and like you're always kind of evolving, I just like this might sound really corny, but I think that's like really like brave because some people just stay with what they're doing their whole life, and you're actually like, no, I want to do this and I want to do that. And like, I think that's so good because everyone's so scared of failure, and here you are like, no, I'm gonna do this and I am gonna do it well. And you are doing it super like amazing, you know?
Thank
So I just
you.
wanted to say that.
I appreciate it. I mean it's yeah, it's scary all the time and then you learn more when you fail. So that's how you get better, I think. So you have to be like willing to fail. Is
Mhm.
that what is it? Fall forward. I think Denzel Washington always says that. I was like, I love that. Because otherwise, like you're gonna fall back, and you have to just be willing,
Yeah.
no matter what happens, to go all into something. And if it works out, great. If it doesn't, you'll learn for the next one. And yeah, so thank you. I appreciate you
Yeah,
saying
of
that.
course. And thank you so much for your time. I really
You're
appreciate it.
welcome. My pleasure. Your
Yep.
mom is so sweet, and I had a great time, talking on her podcast and all that. So I was happy to do it.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, thank
Let's speak
you.
whatever anytime.